Every time.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Batshit Crazy podcast with Lauren, Denny, and Rob. We are going to recap episode 6 of The Bachelorette. There was a little bit of bickering, some fights, some entertainment, and we are going to dive right into it right now. Please like and subscribe to the Russell Hant Show and drop us your comments as we are talking through this very, very interesting episode of The Bachelorette.
Yeah, it was a quite an interesting episode. There was some drama, but they got to settle it in the ring afterwards, so during the episode. So that was good for them and their stress levels, I suppose.
Yeah, that's towards the end of the episode, so we will definitely dive into all of
Rob wants to rush ahead.
He wants to jump right to the wrestling aspect of the episode, where I want to talk about some of those wrestling moves because they were very interesting.
Yeah, that was a weird thing that they did, honestly. I didn't think they were going to do something where it got like that violent.
They always do something like that.
Yeah, I know, but it really got serious, especially with Chasen saying he was going to kill somebody.
Passion. All right, let's dive into kind of the beginning. Start off with a group date. Some of these guys on this group date, I don't think they've even been shown at all during the episode.
Rob's dying.
I'm sorry.
You're fine, but you're clearly dying. Take a deep breath. Fine, we'll make it through this podcast. No worries. So on the group date, we have Montel, Ivan, Damar, Chasen, Ed, Bennett, Joe, and Denny's favorite, Ben.
Yes.
When they said who was going on that group date and they said Montel, I was like, who the fuck is that? No clue who that even is still. I have no idea.
Yeah, Montel hasn't made himself much of a character on this show.
So
is he like one of the newbies?
Mm-hmm. Montel was one of the 4 new guys that came and met Tayshia when she was introduced to the new guys. So I'm on board with you. Not memorable at all.
No.
I can't believe I know his name, but I do.
It's because you took notes.
Maybe.
That's the only reason why.
Joe understands who the hell is Montel.
Still don't know. Rob, drink some water.
All right. So the group date, it's the grown man challenge, which I found very...
Grown ass man.
Oh, excuse me. The grown ass man challenge. Well, since you already piped in, Denny, what did you think of this challenge competition that the guys had to go through?
I mean, Bennett talked himself up a lot about how he has a Harvard education. And just because of the way that they were focusing in on that, I knew he was going to bomb the questions, which he did. I thought it was fun overall, I thought.
Yeah, it was funny. Bennett had a good attitude about it, too. I think Bennett is growing on me a little bit as far as the show's going. He was really funny when he roasted Dale.
Okay, well, you're not talking about last night's episode.
I understand that, but I'm saying he's grown on me.
He did grow on me, but after last night's episode, I'm like, no, you're back to the bottom.
Yeah, he skirted to the end of the line pretty much for me after last night's episode.
Why is that? Can I get some explanations here?
Just the way he went about everything throughout. Okay, I like confident people, but he came across arrogant and cocky to me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he does have a little bit of cockiness in him, but there's nothing wrong with flaunting your shit a little bit.
I like when people are cocky.
But back it up.
It was just...
It doesn't work on Bennett.
Yeah, it was the whole way he was with the guys, like, I don't want to rush ahead because Lauren might have a conniption fit. When he won the Grown Ass Man Award, he was just the way he was acting afterwards to the guys was like, all right, you didn't do all that well. It's just Ashley liked him. That's the only reason he won. Because I don't think he was deserving, that's for sure.
Can we get an age update on Bennett? How old is he?
Yeah, I got you. He is 36.
36. That's what I thought. 36 going on 66.
Well, speaking of Denny bringing up Ashley, Rob, I know you are a fantastic major fan of The Bachelor, Bachelorette. What are your thoughts on Ashley and Jared?
I don't have much thoughts on them. Weren't they on Paradise?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody's funny on Paradise, so they were funny. I think it's always cool when they do that. They bring in people from past seasons and just show them like the ropes and pretty much say, look, we failed, so you guys are gonna fail next, and just show them how to fail. Basically, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, but they didn't fail.
But they didn't fail?
No.
Well, originally they did, but they're married now.
Yeah. Okay, well, they failed once, so.
They failed once, but they are actually married.
Okay, well, you get my gist. When they were originally on, they failed. So.
Yeah, okay.
No, Lauren, answer your question. I do like when they do that. They bring in people from past seasons. The only time it didn't work was on this past season of The Bachelor, whenever Hannah Brown came on, because it was just too much Hannah Brown. I'm honestly surprised they didn't bring on Hannah Brown again, because they seem to love Hannah Brown.
All right, I want to talk another part about.
No comment, Lauren, right?
No comment.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about another part of the date. What did you guys think of Chasen towards the end when they had to make something for Tayshia in bed, which I also found very weird, but him being the main course?
Yeah, that was corny.
You know what? Like, he didn't even make anything. So that would have been my problem because I love food. I'd have been like, go back and make me something and then come back. But just, yeah, that was like cockiness in a different way. That's not attractive at all.
Yeah, it was.
All I could like look at was his armpit hair.
Joe says that Chasen is a man-child. I definitely agree with that. That was just, yeah, that's a little bit weird. It's kind of gross too, if you really think about it. So Chasen, weird and gross.
So you wouldn't do that?
No, I wouldn't. I can't say I would.
Lauren,
If members of the audience would do that.
What was the question, Denny?
Nothing.
I want to talk about Ivan then. I thought he was super sweet.
Yeah, I like Ivan. He's growing on me too.
See, I really liked Ivan last week. And this week, I think he was sweet, but I think a lot of what he said was like rehearsed. And he's just super, super, super young. I don't feel like he's mature enough to be with Tayshia.
How old is Ivan?
Ivan is 28.
He seems way younger than that to me.
Well, he is 28. I can fact check for you again if you would like, but he is 28.
And Tayshia's 29, correct?
I believe that is correct.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, but he seems more like,
No, I don't know.
low 20s.
Please explain.
I want the explanation.
Younger 20s, he seems like to me. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I liked him a lot last week, but this week I just felt like the things that he was saying to her, I just felt like they were rehearsed. I still think he's sweet and he's still like one of my top people, but I just don't think he's there yet.
All right. So then obviously we talked about Bennett winning the grown ass man challenge. Might I add that? So I get it.
Never forget the ass, Lauren.
Oh, I know. You can't forget the ass. But then we progress on to the cocktail party from that evening. And Denny's all-time favorite, so I'll let her start. Ben is with Tayshia.
I think Ben was super sweet, and I love how he kind of asked permission to kiss her. Like he said, I'd really like to kiss you right now. I think he's a gentleman. Of course, I mean, I love the dude.
Rob, what do you think their chemistry was like?
It seems like they got a pretty solid connection. I think Ben is a touch awkward at some points. I think he is, just his mannerisms and everything. But you know what? He's a good dude. He seems like one of the most genuine ones there, and he seems like he really is there for the right reasons. I just don't see that great of a connection with Tayshia and him. I think Tayshia connects better with other people, honestly.
Who?
And that's I think she connects better with Ivan for sure and Brendan.
Yeah, but she said she gets really nervous around Ben, and she said
that's not good.
She said yes, it can be good. Yes, and she said she's smitten with him. I don't recall her saying that about anyone else.
Wow. Okay, then. But I just think that, the fact that she's nervous around him could be a red flag. I'd rather be comfortable around somebody than nervous.
Well, you're going to be nervous, of course, at the beginning stages because you really don't know that person that well yet.
Yeah, I understand that. But I'm just saying, I think she just has a more natural connection with Brendan and Ivan. I don't see how that's an arguable point. It's really not. Like, it's true. She has way more
butterflies. That's good.
She has way more of a, like, she just has a good connection with Ivan and Brendan.
Okay, so maybe she thinks of Ivan more as like, a brotherly type or like a friend zone dude.
Okay. Well, whatever she wants to think of him, they have a connection. And as Lauren said, we're in the beginning stages. So.
Well, then now that you bring up Ivan, let's talk about Ivan with his alone time with Tayshia. The blindfolded with the strawberries. No bueno for me. I don't want to be blindfolded. I have trust issues. Heck no. Do not blindfold me. It's a red flag. See you later.
It's okay, but to feed her strawberries, like, I just don't get the point.
Yeah, I don't really get it either.
I thought it was corny because obviously his intention was to do the strawberries and then obviously kiss her.
But hey, if she was vibing with it.
Well, maybe she wasn't. Maybe she just was like, oh, I just have to go along with this.
See, I think that's a thing that bachelors and bachelorettes should do more. They should just say no if they're not comfortable with someone.
Right.
Like, when people constantly come down and like ask to steal like the person, somebody the bachelorette should just say no. Like, leave. That's what I think should happen. But that's just in general. I know we're talking about the specific situation with Ivan and the strawberries. Anyways, if she wasn't comfortable with it, she should have just said no. That's my take on it. But
well, I think, blindfolds can definitely be triggers for some people. It didn't seem to be with her. But again, I just think for a first kiss with someone, like if she ended up with him, like that's their first kiss. Blindfolded, I don't know. Save the blindfold for later when you're like in a nice committed relationship and you want to bring something extra in. But for like one of the first dates, no.
Yeah, especially because you don't have that solidified trust yet. No bueno for me. Skipping the blindfold. Moving on to the drama between Ed and Chasen.
I knew that Ed was gonna go to Tayshia and talk to her about Chasen. We see that on literally every season of these shows. Someone runs off to the Bachelor or Bachelorette and says, so-and-so is not here for the right reasons. Happens every season. I don't think that I would do that. I think I would just try to steer clear of the drama. Unless I knew I had zero connection with the person and I just wanted to give them a heads up like on my way out. But yeah.
Totally agree. It happens every season. I think that Chasen is he's pretty problematic. I think Ed is as well. And I think that they shouldn't worry about each other. And, it's a TV show, so obviously they're going to push the drama. But at the end of the day, they should just be worried about themselves and their own moves that they're making with Tayshia and not what the hell Ed or Chasen is up to. And they shouldn't be worrying about each other. So.
Yeah, especially because at that moment, Ed, you're wasting time talking about another person. Dumb move on your part, stupid. And then you really don't even get to create a connection with Tayshia because you're so worried about someone else. So what is the point of being
exactly there? And this is the crucial stage. These are the beginning parts where you really have to be forming your own connection and your own bond. So she wants to keep you around, just to see, make sure something is there, some form of spark connection. If you look at the past, even in the history of this season. First person that wasn't worried about themselves, which was Tyler, got sent home right away. Granted, that was Claire, but at the end of the day, if you're not worried about yourself, you should get sent home. Especially when you're a dude. Like, the dude should just be chilling, broing out, playing cards, drinking beer together, and maybe talking about how Tayshia's a smoke show or something like that.
No, fuck that.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't be. These guys are reminding me of little girls right now. Honestly, they were on last night's episode. They should just chill and worry about their own self. That's my take on it, Lauren.
Thank you, Mr. Rob. Now, what I will say, we'll fast forward a little bit here. Ivan does, in fact, receive the group date rose. I thought she was going to give it to Bennett first. But she does end up giving it to Ivan.
Well, at the end of the day, you could say whatever you want, like that maybe Tayshia didn't like it or you guys didn't like it, but it still was an effort out of him. And I like that Tayshia rewarded the effort.
We can agree to disagree. It's great.
Okay.
I still think I should have went to Ben.
Yeah. It was a good effort, honestly. It really was. It was a trick he tried to pull, and we'll see if it pays off in the long run. Like I said, Tayshia and Ivan seem to have a great connection. So,
yeah, and then we move forward to the beginning stages before the rose ceremony is going to happen, and it clips to Ben again. And during that time, him and Tayshia, I thought they had really good chemistry with each other.
Ben and Tayshia?
Yeah. It clips to Ben and Tayshia. I think they have great chemistry with each other. There's definitely a deep connection with them. But I will say I do somewhat agree with you a little bit, Rob. I think there's some other people that she feels a little bit more because she is a little hesitant about Ben, slightly.
Yeah. Right now, I think she connects the best with Brendan. When they had that moment last night, when she was telling him, you talk too much, I thought that was just a cute little thing that they were doing. It was fun. It was cute and fun, and I just enjoyed that moment that they shared together. But again, that's towards the end of the episode, and I know how mad you get whenever we jump the gun, Lauren. So we'll save that for later.
I do not get upset. I am calm, cool, and collected always.
I know you are.
And scheduled. And
anyways, just to piggyback off that though, I definitely agree. And because I said it, I guess I agree with myself that she has a connection with Ben, but there's just other people it feels like she just hits it with a little bit more.
And you know what also I appreciated was Zach, because he clearly sees the drama that's going on in the house and he says, screw that, I'm going to go talk to Tayshia, get to know Tayshia, and try and create a connection and not worry about talking about Ed, Chasen, and all that drama. So I thought what he did was great.
Who's that, Zach?
Yeah.
Zach. Okay, the one that looks like Brennan.
Yeah, that's correct. The one that looks like Brennan.
Yeah. One thing I will say about Tayshia, she loves to kiss all these guys. She kisses them way more than I've ever seen on a season.
What?
Yeah.
Every season is like this.
No way. Yeah. Tayshia's going to take at least 6 of them to the fantasy suite. I'm taking bets on that.
I just don't think that's how the episode works. But if you want to take a bet on that and lose, I will gladly pick up your money right now.
All right, we'll gamble. Here's a virtual handshake, $20. At least six people.
Dudes, no.
No way.
Way.
All right. I will watch for this. I'm ready to be proven wrong by Mr. Rob.
Okay. Virtual handshake.
Oh, a virtual handshake. Yeah. That was easy as $20 in my life. Okay. Moving on.
No, let's talk about the kissing.
Okay.
Because I was watching the show with a couple friends, and at first I'm like, ooh, because she kissed Ben, and I'm gaga over him. And I was like, ooh, never mind. I don't think Ben looks like he's a good kisser. But then as the show was going on, I'm like, that was a terrible kiss. That was a terrible kiss. So I think it's really Tayshia. I think she's a bad kisser.
Well, whatever it is, she's getting a lot of practice. So by the end of this whole thing, she'll probably be better.
Well, you're either a good kisser or you're not.
That is a hot take. But then I feel as though a lot of the guys, they kept going in for other kisses, so.
Yeah, probably like saying.
All right, wait, here's the better question. Who
open your mouth a little, live a little.
Who hasn't she kissed a little? Who hasn't she kissed yet?
Did she kiss Ed?
I don't think so, and I hope to not see that. I'm trying to
triggered, Lauren, by Ed.
Well, obviously, Jay, who was the guy that showed up the first night in the straitjacket, they never kissed. Montel, no bueno, because
I don't think they've kissed.
We don't even know who he is. So.
Has she kissed my dude Easy yet?
That's like a fact check you need to do, but
maybe I'll do that for next episode.
Maybe you should do that.
By then they will. So
that's true. But let's clip ahead to the rose ceremony, where 3 guys get sent home, being Jay, the guy in the straitjacket, Montel, who, and also the bigger question, who, and Peter. Did you guys know Peter on the season?
No idea who you're talking about. Rob?
Yeah. Who were the 3 people again? They were so unmemorable. I can't even remember their names.
Jay, who came out in the straitjacket night 1.
Okay.
Montel, question mark.
Again.
And then even bigger question mark, Peter.
Don't remember any of the 3. Unmemorable characters, clearly not good enough for us to talk about, so we might as well move on.
I just don't think Peter even got screen time. I know Montel was at least on the date, but I just don't even think Peter was on the screen.
Honestly, like, I'm not trying to joke around. I'm not trying to sound like an asshole. I watched the episode, and I've watched the whole season, and I've seen many seasons before this, and those guys were just all unmemorable. And that's saying something considering we're pretty deep into this season now. Because those guys just seem to be boring characters.
I agree. I want to bring up Cody's comment here.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. 90 Day Fiance, we've seemed to be getting a lot of people that suggest that they should do this, the 90 Day Fiance thing. I've seen this in the comments several times now.
I'm all for entertainment, so anything you can do to provide that to me, I'm all for it.
Okay. All right, Cody, I'm going to call you after this. I'll have my people talk to your people. We'll get something going, okay?
Rob, what people do you have?
My people. Lauren, you don't need to know about my people.
If you're not one of them, then don't concern yourself.
I'm pretty suspicious of you, Rob. But yes, rose ceremony happens. Of course, there was that drama between Ed and Chasen. We were going to wonder if Chasen was going to be staying in the house, and he is. Ed's obviously not very happy about it, though.
I would have sent them both packing, like, without hesitation.
Yeah.
Ed, there's no romantic chemistry whatsoever. So I don't know if that's her choice to keep those two around or if that's production, but I would put my damn foot down and be like, they're both gone.
Leaning more towards production. Here's why, because it sets us up perfectly for the next group date that they go on.
Yeah, 100%. And this was hands down the best part of the evening. It was great. We love watching guys beat the shit out of each other. That's why we watch the UFC, right? So it was great. I wish they actually would have UFC'd each other and actually thrown hands and stuff. That would have been fun. That would have been really fun.
I don't know how fun that would have been for the guy that got nailed, punched in the face. I don't know how fun that would have been.
Could have been very fun.
So the guys that we see go on this group date are Easy, Brendan, Joe, who we don't know much about Joe yet at this point. Jordan, he's kind of been a ghost as well in the season. And then you have Spencer, who made a splash last week. Ben, Ed, and Chasen.
Yes, Ed and Chasen, both on the date, and somehow with a random draw, they were matched up against each other.
Of course not. Nothing's random in The Bachelorette.
Yeah, that was good stuff, honestly. It was really funny. It was great to see. But if we address each fight, before I even say that, I want to know why the hell Easy didn't get his chance to fight Chasen. I thought that those two should have fought each other because Chasen was just crowned the champion, and it was really stupid. Nobody else got to fight him. He had one fight.
Well, we don't know that. They might not have shown everything.
Well, they should have shown every fight. Well, they should have at least shown like a tournament style and then did a championship fight at the end.
Well, Rob, maybe you can go and talk to the producers and see what they think about that.
I'll have my people call Chris Harrison tomorrow and see what was going on with that.
I was happy to see Wells show up in this episode. I am a huge Wells fan.
Me too.
He's hilarious and love seeing him on Bachelor in Paradise. He's great.
Absolutely.
All right. Getting to Rob's favorite part of the date. We're going to go through these matchups here. And Rob, I will let you give your hot take on it all.
Okay.
All right. Easy versus Joe.
That was an easy fight for Easy. Easy kicked his ass. But I will say, Joe had a good attitude about the whole thing. And I liked when he said at the end, I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover.
I mean, at least he tried. You knew Easy was going to take that one.
Yeah. Joe has actually grown on me a little bit too. I thought he was going to be weird at first, but he's really unproblematic and he just kind of chills. And I feel like Joe and I would be friends. I think, like I mentioned, broing down earlier in this episode, I think that Joe and I would sit there, bullshit about life, and drink a few beers together. And I think Joe and I would be buddies. But he did get his ass kicked in the fight against Easy. I think Easy beat him in like 10 seconds.
That's true, but as you said, he was a really good sport about it, and he handled it really well. He also is someone that we haven't seen that much of as of late, but in this episode, we kind of started to see his personality. I'm not so sure if he actually has a connection with Tayshia, though, but I do think he's a good guy.
Yeah. And, I forgot what I was going to say, Lauren, so if we just continue on to the next matchup, that's fine.
You were lost for words. I got Rob lost for words. Never happens.
Lauren, I drew a blank there.
No, but there are no sparks between them. He is like a stand-up dude, you can tell, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, definitely not. But you know what? Like we both said, he was a great sport about it. And that's almost maybe a spark will arise after that because, a woman sees that. And I know in my experience, my life experience, most women are really turned off by the guys that are like, ooh, like big meatheads and the guys in the gym that lift like 1,000,000 pounds and they're like so ripped that it's like gross. And I think that's just gross for women. And I think it's cooler if like a guy like Joe just come out and like be himself and say, you know what, I'm probably going to get my ass kicked here. I'm facing a former NFL player. And that's probably attractive that Tasha sees that. And yeah, so I hope that him and Tasha could have a spark in the future, but I doubt it happens, honestly. He's more bland than most of the characters. And
I'm not going to say that, like...
They never pick the bland guys, but go ahead.
I'm not going to say I love ripped dudes as opposed to, like, dad bods or whatever, but you're saying, like, you lumped all these, like, meathead guys into one category.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like...
They can still be, like,
I'm into that. It's much more attractive for the one guy, Joe, to just say, like, whatever, like, I'm probably going to lose in this, and I'm just going to move on and call it a day, as opposed to Chasen, who's literally acting like it's a life or death event.
Yeah, I get that, but Ben has the body, and he is cool, too.
Yeah, but can we also rewind to this a little bit? Because you're saying big, strong, muscular guys in the upper body, but I'm sorry, if you have big muscles and you have chicken legs,
that is a major pet peeve.
That's why I said meatheads. Those are what you call meatheads, Lauren.
Major pet peeve.
Meatheads at the gym. And then they're always deadlifting and just dropping the weight, and they just let it slam. And it's so it's not polite to the people around them.
Yeah, but if you're deadlifting, you are doing your legs at that point in time. So
yeah. I get what you're saying, but you know what I mean? Like how those guys just drop the fucking weight on the ground, and I can't stand it. Like, what are you doing? Just set it down. Nobody wants to hear that. And if you can't set it down, then you should be lifting less weight.
Yeah, just go to Planet Fitness.
All right, next matchup we have Brendan versus Jordan.
Jordan won this one, didn't he?
That is correct.
Yeah. I think it was I'm trying to remember this one. Drawing a blank on this one. But I do know Jordan.
Not memorable.
I do know Jordan said that he thought he would have kicked Chasen's ass. So I would have liked to see that fight happen.
Yeah, I don't know that would have worked out the way he thinks, but I'm not a big Jordan fan. I mean, I think, yeah, he seems like a nice guy, but just very bland.
I would have taken Easy over anybody there, even Chasen, fight-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, Easy's a former NFL player, so I would have taken him over Jordan too. I don't know. I mean, it looked like Jordan could fight a little bit. Brendan lost, but Brendan, did they say Brendan was a former college basketball player? Or am I thinking of a different guy?
I don't remember.
A little scrawny little guy, so I don't know.
Yeah, he could have been a point guard. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be big for basketball.
Potentially.
You have to be defined and toned enough to get through contact, but other than that, you don't have to be big to play basketball. You do have to be big to play football.
Big and tall, maybe, for basketball.
Oh, Jesus.
You don't have to be big. Have you ever seen Kevin Durant?
I understand that, but you have to at least have some sort of height. I mean, yes, we've seen it happen where short people excel in basketball, but
I'm not talking short. I'm talking big, muscle-wise. We're going down a rabbit hole here, Lauren. We could talk about this after the podcast.
Yeah, you guys can.
All right, next matchup we have Spencer versus Ben.
That was a good matchup because it like kept going back and forth. It looked like Ben was gonna have it, and then I don't know. That was a good one. Who ended up winning that? Oh, it was a draw, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a draw, and they never got a rematch. They didn't fight anybody else. That's bullshit. At least that we didn't see. See what I mean? It's just BS that they left us hanging. They didn't show us all the all the fights that happened, and I was so angry about it.
I know, you got to call their people tomorrow. Let me know.
I would have liked to see actually Ben and Chasen. So it looks like Chasen just should have fought everybody.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, Chasen, like, he looks like he's a big dude, but I feel like he's easily beatable in a fight. Like, not easily beatable, but he is beatable. Which brings us, if we're going on to the next fight, then which one was that? That was
we are going on to the next fight.
And that was Chasen and Ed.
Right, where Ed taps
out. He pulled the biggest pussy move I think I have ever seen in my entire life. And somebody even mentioned last night. Oh, go ahead, Denny. I apologize.
No, go.
Denny, go.
No, Denny, you go. Because I forget what I was going to say. You go ahead.
All right. In the previous group date, Bennett sat out of the physical challenge because of a past injury. But Ed didn't say shit about having to sit out of that one. But then you could tell the entire challenge, like he was just sitting there, fight after fight, like looking scared as shit. And I knew that he wasn't going to go for it.
Yeah.
But
I was going to say the same thing.
Such a turnoff. I don't care if you know, if you think you're going to lose, but you should never have that mentality. But you don't go in and just stick your tail between your legs and be like, no, peace. Like you have to just go for it. Because even if you go for it and lose, that's still going to look way better. And you're going to feel better too. Like if you don't fight, you'll never know how you would have done. But you go in there, you give it your all. It would have looked good. I would have sent him home right then. Really, you're not going to.
I totally agree. And somebody mentioned last night when we were watching, like, if he was going to sit out, he could have, because he was complaining about his shoulder, I believe. I think it was his shoulder. I can't remember.
Both of them, you know.
Yeah, he has bad shoulders or whatever. He should have just said before every fight started that I can't fight. I have a bad shoulder injury, and you use shoulders in your wrestling. So, and another thing is, too, Chris Harrison said it. Ed's like a big guy, like, so unless he just doesn't know how to fight at all, like he would just be standing there and be vulnerable the whole time. Then I don't know what he was doing, because it looked like he actually could have beaten Chasen, maybe.
He let fear get the best of him. That's the thing. He was sitting there like fearing the worst the entire time. He got all in his head about it and bowed out.
If I was the rest of the guys, I would have started a chant that said, pussy, pussy, and we're all like pointing and laughing at him.
Oh
yeah, no, that was a terrible move, honestly, and it doesn't bode yourself well in front of a woman. Oh, in front of a woman, might I add, that you're trying to win the heart of.
Well, he did it. His loss. And then we see Noah hop the fence, which just reminded me slightly of Colton.
I know.
But Noah hops the fence, did not even hesitate either, which I give him respect for that too. Hey, if you get an opportunity, take your shot, which he did. And then we proceed to see him take on Chasen.
Absolutely, and he fought him to almost a draw. And I loved the attitude. I loved the spark that he had. Just get in there and say, hey, if this pussy Ed's not going to fight him, then I will. And he just hopped in there and did his thing. And again, like I said, Chasen's beatable. So he almost beat Chasen. Most violent episode in Bachelorette history. It could be up there, Team Rooney. Could be up there. We'll have to run some diagnostics on that. Look at all the past episodes and then compare.
There's been way worse ones. I mean, way worse. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I'm talking like guys having to go to the emergency room and shit. Yeah. So this is definitely not the worst of the worst, but
well, even Peter had to get stitches in his upper eye last year, but I don't know if you consider that violent. That was rather just his own stupidity. He was drunk and fell off a golf cart, I believe.
Yeah, well, I really liked Noah for doing what he did and going in there ready because he is smaller than Chasen, but he didn't even like think, oh, I can't do that. Like no hesitation whatsoever.
And really, I was saying this last night too. It's not like, and yeah, I said it just a few minutes ago. It's not like they were actually UFC fighting. Like they were literally just wrestling each other. And I don't think like you couldn't punch, you couldn't kick, you couldn't do any of that shit. All you had to do was just take the other guy down. So realistically, to Pussy Ed, how hurt are you actually going to get? You're probably not going to get that hurt. Like I don't think there was major injury risk there. I'm sure it got violent. I mean, that's guys being dudes. I'm sure it did get pretty crazy and intense. But honestly, like you got to look at the scope of the situation and say, I don't think the risk for a great injury is really that prevalent here. Local bro says, leave my man Ed alone. I'm sorry, local bro. Is this guy the local bro of Ed, maybe?
I'm not sorry.
Yeah, we don't know. But Noah is rewarded for stepping up. He gets invited to the after party, which I know the guys hated that decision, but at the end of the day, it's Tasha's decision. So who cares what they think?
I would have done the same thing. I would have invited Noah to come along, but I probably would have told Ed he could go back to the room. Like he didn't want to fight for me. Bye.
Well,
Totally.
then we kind of jump in to the after party, which got a little interesting. What do you guys think?
Everybody hated Noah. Everybody hated Noah. Even Ed. And I said, that's crazy that Ed's talking like that. That is really crazy. That Ed was talking all that shit on Noah. It was ridiculous. And it made me mad because all the guys were getting mad at Noah. They should have been mad at Ed. Because Ed was the one that caused it in the first place by not wanting to fight, and Noah had to jump in.
Yeah.
I think they were focusing their energy in the wrong space, but I do think Noah was overkill. I do think it's like a lot when you have time with someone and you know all these other guys have to come in and have time. Like he had already went for it. I don't think he should have went back and asked for more time just because he shaved his freaking mustache off. Like I do think that was disrespectful towards the other guys in the end.
Yeah, I do too. I mean,
like him until
what I was talking about in the beginning of the cast. Tasha should have just told him no. Simply, the answer is simply no. You could get your time next time we see each other in a few days, whatever it might be, but I just don't have time for you right now. Bachelors and bachelorettes need to start normalizing that.
But also, Rob, would you, if you had this mustache that you just
No, I know what you're going to ask me, and the answer is no.
Exactly. And why
I would never, if somebody told me to do something like that right away, I wouldn't, yeah, maybe in a few days I'll consider it whenever I see you next. I'm not going to do it right away. That guy literally was in the bathroom at the snap of his fingers shaving his stash. And then he let Tasha shave some of it too. I would have never done that shit. That's called being a simp. S-I-M-P.
Yeah, but maybe that was Noah's game plan.
Maybe it was. I don't know.
Oh,
his game plan from the beginning.
I'm thinking strategically here. Don't look at me like that. It could have been a game plan.
He's had that stash for the longest time.
Yeah, and you could tell like
I think he had it when Claire was around.
He wasn't even there when Claire was around.
Oh, what? He wasn't?
No.
Oh, okay. My fault.
Oh,
no, I didn't think. No, I would have never done that. This is what team.
I would never have asked him to do it either. I think she was a bitch for doing that. Like, why would you ask some guy who's like, that's his, I don't know, that's his thing. Like, why would you ask him to shave it off? For you.
Right.
You don't even know if you freaking like him.
Totally agree. Although it did seem like they had a pretty solid connection there.
Also, I like him better with the mustache. I know I'm in the minority there, but I like the mustache better.
I think they mesh well together because, and I don't know if you guys remember me talking about this on earlier podcasts, but I think
Probably not.
Tasha had like a young, yeah, probably not. You never listen to what the hell I have to say. Tasha has like a young, fun personality, I believe, and she's not as like uptight and serious as Claire was. And I think that Noah definitely has the same thing. He's obviously a little bit younger. How old is he? 22 or 23?
Noah?
Yeah.
He's 25.
Oh, he's 25. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because they were all calling him like the young guy of the house.
Well, he essentially is pretty much the young guy in the house. He's one of the youngest people.
Right. Yeah, I know that. And that's what I'm saying. That I think they both have those like fun, same personalities. So I like that. And I think that they mesh well together. I don't think Noah's going to be really in it for the long haul, but he had a good showing last night. He had a good performance.
Well, he had a great showing. He got rewarded with the group date rose. So he had a great showing.
Yeah. And again, it pissed me off on that after party. All the guys were pissed at Ed, or all the guys were pissed at Noah. And it's like, just be pissed at this dude, Ed, because if it wasn't for his cowardice, you guys wouldn't have this problem right now.
Yep. So basically, that's how the episode ends with Noah receiving the group date rose. So we'll see what happens in the future. I do think Tasha built some strong connections and relationships with some of the guys in the house this week. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next week.
Yeah. Lots of drama again next week, I guess, between Ed and Chasen again. Ed and Chasen hate each other.
I feel like the whole episode was that, though.
Yeah.
That's
And Chasen promised that Ed wasn't going to wake up tomorrow morning. So does anybody have confirmation if Ed woke up this morning?
I do not. I do not.
I'm just kidding. I'm just obviously joking around.
No, but I feel like we saw a lot of the same people last night. I want to see more of like some others.
Okay, Local Bro says Ed's going to win. Just see. Are we sure that Local Bro is not an Ed burner account?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Hey, Ed.
Well, we appreciate you watching, Ed.
All right.
Local Bro.
We're going to wrap this up because that's all I really have to say about the episode.
That's all I got to say, too.
Yep.
So be sure to follow the Twitter account at batshit_TRHS.
Check out some live tweeting during the episodes. It's really funny, I promise. And there's funny retweets. We're all like one big family in the Bachelorette, and we all use that hashtag Bachelorette, and everybody's live tweeting. It's so much fun. It's like being at a live watch party. It's great. It's good stuff. Follow our page. Do it.
Yes, follow our page, and we will be back next week to recap the next episode of The Bachelorette, to talk through all the drama that is going to potentially happen between Tasha and some of the other guys. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us tonight.
Goodbye. Love you all.
We'll see you guys next week.